Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Anizi with What If Naruto was abandoned by his family and sent to Blood Prison. So let's get started. We start off 16 years after the Nine Tails attack in the land of Rice, in a place known as a Blood Prison, the most dangerous and well-known prison housing most of the notorious and famous criminals from all over the nation. Among them was the toughest of the tough, Feared. He arrived a few years ago, but within a year or so, he changed everything and turned the prison upside down. He became such a threat that even the gods, as well as the warden who placed the seal on him to take away his chakra, was now threatened by said person. Now this castle is his domain. The once former prisoner was now his willing slaves. Inside the throne room of the former prison, now turned castle, where the warden's office used to be, was a luxurious throne room with a metal door that led inside. We see a shadow looming. Sitting on the throne of this once prison now turned castle was none other than the blonde-haired, blue-eyed teenager, 16-year-old Naruto Uzumaki. Well, former blue eyes, now he had red eyes. How much time has been, I wonder? Not that it matters. Once all of the pieces are set, I will show this world true hatred, said a voice that was chilling but calm like a storm. This was none other than Naruto Uzumaki. How did he end up here? Well, Naruto fought back to everything that had gotten him sent here. Flashback, we see a 13-year-old Naruto Uzumaki standing on what looked like to be Hashirama Senju's statue, and a black-eyed boy, his teammate Sasuke Uchiha, on Madara Uchiha's statue. Sasuke, why would you leave the village? Naruto demanded. You don't understand, Naruto. You never will. You're nothing but a thorn in my path, as well as the villagers. I don't know why you try. Like me, everybody there hates you, and I can see it. Why can't you? You're just a reminder of everything they lost. That's right, I know, Sasuke said. Because Hokage Gigi said that one day I will show them that I am good, Naruto replied, his conviction strong. The third Hokage. You really believe that? You're such a fool. You don't know stuff that I do. But anyways, he's dead. So even if what he was saying was true, which is highly unlikely, how do you know that it will come true? And plus, do you even know the secrets that your precious Dryas sensei and Tsunade Bachan hid from you? I wonder how fun it will be when you learn the truth, how much you will be hurt. But anyways, you should wake up to reality, just like my ancestor Madara once told the clan. You are what you are, a hated, detested, dirty being, and that will never change, Sasuke said. Stop it, I'm not gonna let you get into my head and drag me down with you. You're going down, Naruto shouted. As the battle commenced, the two fought valiantly. Naruto emerged victorious, charging up with full-powered Rasengan, hitting Sasuke instead of weakening it like he did back in the anime. Like I said, Teme, I'm going to bring you back to Sakura-chan, then I'll become Hokage, Naruto says as he dragged Sasuke back. When Naruto got back to the village, he saw many of his teammates there, as well as Tsunade, Jiraiya, and the others waiting at the gates. You brought him back, that's good, Tsunade said, sounding relieved, but when she noticed Sasuke's body, she got pissed. What is this, Genin Uzumaki? I told you to bring him uninjured, Tsunade snapped. Look at me, look at what he's done, Naruto says, showing his pierced shoulder. So what? You're not a clan head, I don't care about you, Tsunade yelled. It was then Naruto began to hear whispers as he looked up at Jiraiya, who looked down at him disappointed. I taught you better. I taught you that technique so you could use it against the enemies of the leaf, not on your own comrade, Naruto. But enough. Enough of your excuses. We will settle a proper punishment later, Tsunade said. As we now have a time skip, Tsunade had attended a meeting to discuss what would happen to the Kyuubi bat for what he had done to the Uchiha clan head. After that, Naruto was called into the council room the next day. Genin Uzumaki, Naruto, your fate has been decided. We have decided that for the attempted murder of the future clan head of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke Uchiha, you will be sent to Blood Prison. What? What do you mean? It is as I said, you will be sent to Blood Prison. You are stripped as your rights as a civilian of Konoha and Shinobi and as a free man, Tsunade said. Hand over your headband, Jiraiya said. This punishment has already been decided, Naruto. You can't change it. Accept it. This is your mistake, Tsunade says. But, enough. I don't care about your excuses. Sasuke is the last heir to his clan, the last Uchiha, and you are a nobody, an orphan. If you die here, nobody would care. But if he dies here, the village loses its founding clan. I'm trying to make it so that Konoha doesn't see me as the next uncle, as the next Tobirama. You are making this hard on me. So, just accept your punishment. As then Asuma Sarutobi then stood up. Enough of this. He's clearly agitating the Hokage. Anbu, take him away. Naruto was then dragged, screaming, towards the blood prison. But on his way, he saw the true colors of his own friends. As they came to see him off, they started laughing. Finally, demon, you're going where you belong. My mum always did say that you're a demon, and after what you did to Sasuke-kun, I agree, Sakura said. I can't believe I loved you. I must have mistaken you for your... Don't worry, you don't even deserve to know who I'm talking about, you demon, monster, murderer, Hinata said. Prison is too light for you. Tsunade should have let me, the next Hokage, and his dog Akamaru maul you to death, Kiba says. My bugs were right, you're nothing but a monster, Shino said. You unyouthful demon, Lee said. You can't escape destiny, Neji said. You use your hellish power to beat Neji. You can't beat him, Tenten said. You demon baka, you dare hurt Sasuke-kun, Ino yelled. Shikamaru and Choji just looked at Naruto with a look of disgust. I can't believe we let you play with us when the others never let you play. You are a disgusting demon. And then when Naruto was being dragged out, he saw a smirk that Sasuke gave him. It was like, I told you so, meaning that Sasuke was right, nobody cared for him, everybody hated him. Well, there was one man, but then Naruto watched him get beat to death. That was Tuichi, Ayami Nichan's father, and the ramen guy who sold Naruto ramen. Naruto thanked him but told him not to bother, as he didn't want Ayami and Tuichi to receive the villagers' hatred and ruin their lives because of him, especially since he won't even be in the village anymore. Now Naruto detested the village so much, he wanted to destroy it. His rage, hatred, and darkness started manifesting in his heart. End of flashback. We now go to the present where everything seems to be going as planned in Konoha. Well, apart from them losing alliances and becoming weaker. Jiraiya and Tsunade were in the Hokage office. I still can't believe that the Akatsuki are still planning on attacking Konoha, even though we don't have the Jinchuriki anymore. In the end, we just have to tell them to go and get him from the blood prison and leave us the hell alone, Tsunade said. I've heard rumors that the kid has gained quite a reputation in their prison. Reputation or not, it doesn't matter. No matter how strong he becomes, he can never ever touch the invincible might of Konoha, the legacy of my grandfather, Hashirama Senju, Tsunade said confidently. Do you think we did the right thing? I mean, Minato and Krishna died, but they were his parents, Jiraiya questioned. Having second thoughts? I mean, it was you who told me that we should punish the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki, since we couldn't let the grudge go. You know how much Krishna meant to me. Yeah, Minato meant to me a lot as well, like a son, and Naruto took him away from us, Jiraiya said. Yeah, it was all his fault, Tsunade agreed. As then Tsunade paused for a moment. I believe I'm starting to see differently. I think I'm going to... I can't even lie about that, I'm just joking. We need that weapon, that's all I see him as. We need to aim it at the Akatsuki and fire. That's the only reason I would ever think about letting him out before I let the villagers kill him once he is no longer needed. Especially since the Akatsuki will take care of the other Jinchuriki, so soon we won't even need the Kyuubi or the Jinchuriki. You're right. The kid trusts us, we might be able to use him, Jiraiya said. As they were in deep conversation, the doors opened and Anbu rushed in. Sir, lady, you need to see this. There's something at the gates. Very important, please hurry. Both Jiraiya and Tsunade, seeing the urgency, rushed towards the gates, only to see two familiar faces and one kind of familiar face standing there. Minato, Krishna, Tsunade gasped. It's been a long time, Sensei. How have you been? This is Menma, my child. Minato? Tsunade and Jiraiya said. It's not just him, it's me, Krishna, Tsunade said as she rushed and hugged her little sister figure. We should take this to the office, Minato said. Menma, I need you to go and just walk around, okay? You're not really needed in this meeting. Of course, Dad. In the Hokage office, Tsunade and Jiraiya couldn't believe what was going on. They were seeing Minato and Krishna, who were alive, but also had another son. I don't understand. How are you alive? Tsunade said. Well, it's a long story. We managed to survive the day. How? We thought you died using the Death Reaper seal, and from what Sensei told us, Krishna died blocking the Nine Tails attack from hitting Naruto the demon, Jiraiya explained. It's true, we nearly did die, but before that we managed to pull something off that we couldn't tell anybody about. What do you mean? Tsunade asked. We were able to save ourselves. Before we did it, I invented a technique that allowed me to transfer myself towards a shadow clone, and so did Krishna, allowing us to transfer our consciousness into a shadow clone, allowing us to completely defy death, a method that even Orochimaru couldn't think of. But yeah, before we died, before we officially died, we were splitting the chakra splitting the whole Nine Tails into half. One into Naruto, the dark half, and then the good half into Menma, who we took to train. The reason we did that was to remove the Kyuubi's hatred and evil, to create a good Kyuubi, so that Menma can fulfill his role that you told us long ago, Minato said, as Tsunade's eyes widened. So all this time Naruto was a scapegoat? Minato nodded. Yeah, we know Konoha would have treated the Jinchurikis badly, so we left Naruto here to take the hatred so that Menma can be raised to be the hero of the prophecy, Minato said. We never really meant it to go that far, but it doesn't matter as long as Menma remains safe, Krishna adds. We also know that there was a masked man someone claimed to be Madara Uchiha who was behind the attack, so we figured if we left Naruto here, he would be taken and Menma would be safe, Krishna added. Genius, you used Naruto as a scapegoat, Jiraiya said, barely able to process the beauty of Minato's plan. Yeah, he was a scapegoat, Krishna said. He was our son, and he did his duty to protect his younger brother. But anyways, where is he? We need him to come back to fulfill his role. I haven't seen him or heard of him from my spies, Minato said. Well, you see, we had to send Naruto to blood prison, Tsunade said. What? Why? Where is he? Why would we need him to play the role? Krishna said, confused. It's not, he attacked the Uchiha clan head, Tsunade said, stuttering. And by the way, Naruto's not just the same kid that he used to be, she added. What do you mean? Minato and Krishna exchanged worried glances. You see, the Naruto you knew from, your spies, which I presume is the spies that you stole from my network. Well, thanks to blood prison, he has changed. He's become something dangerous. Dangerous? How much more dangerous can he be? He's just... I hate to say this about my son, but a loser, Krishna added. You'll see, Jiraiya muttered, guilt heavy in his voice. Meanwhile, in blood prison, Naruto sat on his throne as his eyes glowed as he had just seen what was happening in Konoha. It seems the king or queen has arrived with their precious little secret weapon. It's time. This world knows what true hatred is, Naruto thought as he drifted back towards the events that made him that way. 2 months. It had been 2 months since he was sent in this prison. The prison was suffocating, its air filled with stench of blood. His blood, every inch of the wall was smeared with it. It was painted red, not because of the battle he fought, but day after day, shinobi sent from Konoha, backed by merciless civilian council, the honorable people of the village, had turned his suffering into entertainment. They would get themselves arrested and come here, and thanks to a special deal that they had with the warden, they had a chakra and could actually hurt and attack him without any repercussions. In fact, they even encouraged the other inmates to do the same thing. Naruto lay there slump, barely conscious, his breathing ragged. His body was nothing more than a vessel for pain now, bruised, burnt, slashed, shocked. Every attack had left its mark. His former comrades were part of this cruel attack, a game orchestrated by the council. Mabuki Horano, the ever-esteemed civilian councilwoman, led the charge. She watched with cold and calculating gaze as her daughter beat Naruto to death. This is what you get for hurting Sasuke, you fucking demon, Sakura yelled as she kicked Naruto. Stop, Naruto said. It's the only I could... Don't you dare say that. It was the only way you could bring him back. As Naruto was punched, kicked, had Rusty Kunai cut his eye out before Kurama's chakra regenerated it. Teach that beast a lesson, Mabuki ordered, as Sakura smiled and his beating continued. As the other rookies also came, Hinata started using the 64 palms on him. as everybody else used their own speciality moves on Naruto. And it didn't really matter because Dry and Snarly had signed off on it. After all, the warden of this house, Mui, had been bribed with special permission granted to allow chakra within these cursed walls so that the shinobi of Konoha could literally beat him, and they were relentless. Each day new torturers came, getting themselves arrested to go and have revenge against the demon who had taken their family from them, as they said. As he fell asleep, his thoughts drifted to one person in this hellhole that had helped him, a woman who had once tried to save him but he hadn't seen before. After that, Ryuzetsu. She was the only one who showed him mercy, going as far as to help him heal his wounds, and even going as far as to kill civilian council member Dai Hirano, who had come to watch him suffer, but he hadn't seen her since. Days later, Naruto's eyes flickered open as he heard the heavy cell door opening. Movements were seen, but this time it wasn't different. There wasn't just one guard who would normally escort him to the beating room to get beaten. No, it wasn't even two, it was a whole group of guards. When the door finally opened, Naruto's breathing caught his throat. Ryuzetsu was being dragged in, her hands bound, her face was bruised. She looked barely conscious. She had white sticky liquid on her. She still looked defiant as she gave the civilian council member Mabuki Hirano a glare. Her white hair was tangled with blood as she was breathing shallow. Ryuzetsu, Naruto said, his heart pounding in his chest. She gave Naruto a weak smile as it had the look of sadness on it. You really thought you could get away with it, huh? One of the Konoha shinobi sneered to her. You dare to kill civilian council member, family member Dai Hirano. He was a patriot, said the shinobi. As Naruto froze, his heart sank hearing Dai Hirano, Sakura's uncle, the same man who had got himself arrested to torture Naruto, taking pleasure in every scream he managed to wrench out from him. The same man Ryuzetsu had killed in a moment of defiance trying to protect Naruto. But now she was going to pay for it. The shinobi's voice then echoed in their ears. This is your punishment, Naruto, he said, as Mui looked coldly at Naruto. You dare think that you could go against me, the warden of this prison. You dare challenge my power, he said, as Naruto's breath hitched. No. This can't be happening, Naruto thought. I didn't ask for this. She was only protect. Naruto was then backhanded before he could finish his sentence, as his face went smashing into the metal wall behind him. His mind was too focused on Ryuzetsu, who stood limply, barely able to hold herself upright. Protect you? She was a traitor, and, well, we Konoha shinobi don't show traitors mercy. You should know. You're exactly like Orochimaru. Naruto's vision then blurred as he struggled to stay conscious, his entire body screaming to try and save her, to try and get his chakra. As he did, he felt the freaking burning sensation of Mui's clan technique, the fire release heavenly prison jutsu. Ryuzetsu then looked at him, her eyes was glossed with tears. Naruto, she whispered, avenge me. This is a place where evil rules, where innocent like you and me are. She was cut off as the shinobi choked her. Let her go. You will kill, Naruto said, as the shinobi laughed. Kill her? That's exactly what we want you, demon. We want you to suffer like Dai Hirano did. Naruto's chest pounded. She was the only one who had ever shown him kindness, and now she was gonna die for it. Watch carefully, Naruto. Remember this for the rest of your life in this miserable prison, Mui said as Naruto watched closely as the shinobi stepped up, a kunai glimmering in his hands as he stabbed it right through her, killing her. No, stop, don't touch her. I'll do what you want, Naruto says as he span around, making her scream out in pain as it pierced her heart. As then he pulled it out. The sound that followed was not even resistance or struggle. It was the quiet thud of Ryuzetsu's body collapsing to the floor. As Naruto could sense it, she was dead. Naruto's heart shattered. His entire body felt numb, like something part of him had been ripped from him. No, Naruto thought. Let this be a lesson. A shinobi stepped back as Mabuki Hirano came towards her. This is what happens when you try to challenge those who are better than you, you demon, she said, as Naruto's head hung low. His hair was shadowing his eyes. His body was shaking with uncontrollable rage, not from fear but rage. It started deep within him, an unbearable heat of hate and rage as the Kyuubi stirred. It seems it's time. Let it go, Naruto, let it go, Kurama said, as Naruto's hatred and rage was feeding him. As the chakra suppressions faltered, the heavenly seal started lighting up, but Naruto felt nothing as the chakra cloak formed. They will pay, Naruto said in his mind as his eyes snapped open. Furious red took over as slits appeared in his eyes. The shinobis, noticing what was happening as red chakra, the same one from that night years ago, filled the entire room. They stepped back. It was too late as Kurama's power surged through Naruto. Get back! He's using it. The fox! He's using the fox chakra. Contain him before that one shinobi could say anything. Naruto appeared right in front of him, slashing his head off. You will all pay, Naruto said as he went to the next one, ripping his head off. Then he went to the other one, shooting a Bijudama point blank at his face as an army ran at him. Naruto caught the first one with his claws as he ripped the other guy's face off with his claws. Then he kicked them, killing them. He punched another one, literally ripping his chest from his limbs, literally making his limbs go off. And then he literally bit one person's head off, as then he stood there looking at Mui. But before Naruto could do anything, his damaged body caught up with him as he fainted. As the only thing Naruto could say, his last words were looking at Ryuzetsu's dead form. I'm sorry, Ryuzetsu-chan, she said as darkness took over him. When Naruto woke again, he was bound, steel against his skin. We need to hurry, said Mui. The beast is getting out of control. I don't care if the Hokage hasn't signed his death warrant yet. He's too dangerous to be kept around, Mui said, as Naruto's heart raced, as he gathered his strength, trying to call forth the Kyuubi's chakra to help him again, but all he felt was the fire heavenly released prison. Naruto didn't have that much rage. In fact, he had barely any rage left. His rage, well, it was expended. What he had was hatred, but not rage. He was too tired. As Mui smiled, the box of ultimate bliss. By sacrificing you, it will give me everything I need. I'll sacrifice your wretched Jinchuriki life, give you a mercy killing, and then I'll remake Kusugakure into its former glory. No better, I'll ask for the box to grant me a power like the Rinnegan, no, even greater than the Rinnegan, the Sharingan, and Byakugan combined into a whole new dojutsu. I will create the strongest clan in the world by taking all of the women in the world, and then Kusugakure won't be a dumping ground for the criminal nations of the great nations. Instead, it will be the only great village, and everything else will be a part of it, Mui said, as Naruto clenched his teeth from both anger and rage. He could feel it swirling inside of him. Jinchuriki, sacrifice. That's all he heard. He hated being a sacrifice. Why did he have to be a sacrifice? He never agreed to any of this. Naruto was then thrown into the box. Suddenly everything went black. Naruto opened his eyes to find himself in a place that defied all of reality. He was floating in an endless abyss, surrounded by shadows and darkness that stretched into infinity and beyond. The air was thick with malevolence, and everything was silenced as it was deafening. There was no ground, no sky, just endless blackness, pressing on all sides. Naruto Uzumaki, a deep twisted voice said through the void. It was cold, unfeeling, and filled with contempt. Naruto tried to run towards the source of the voice, but he found himself immobilized, as if the very air around him was binding him in place. As then from the shadows emerged a figure. No, it wasn't a person, it was an embodiment of hatred itself. As the figure was a massive towering person over Naruto. It was a riveling mass of shadows with red glowing eyes. Its presence was suffocating, even more so than the Naruto's chakra, an overwhelming force of pure malice. Who are you? Naruto managed to growl out. He wasn't scared. All he felt was anger, hatred, and rage. That was all he could feel right now. I am hatred, the voice said. I am the darkness that has grown, that has been lurking throughout the Omniverse. I am your pain, suffering, Hatred. I'm everybody's pain, hatred, and suffering. I am everything's hatred. I am hatred. As then, hatred just waved his hands as the truth started to come towards Naruto. He saw his parents, Minato and Krishna, standing before him with their faces cold and emotionless. They left you. They abandoned you to protect their favored son, Menma. You, Naruto, were a scapegoat. You see, this was their plan when you were born. Krishna had chosen Menma to wield the good half of the Nine Tails chakra. And then they left you, believing that Menma would be the child of prophecy Jiraiya talked about, letting you bear the hatred of the villagers. But that's not all, as then the truth of everything his life in Konoha came to him. You see, third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, he didn't come and save you. In fact, look at this. Naruto then saw Hiruzen give the orders to the civilian council to torture Naruto. He told them that Naruto was the Jinchuriki. He allowed Danzo to leak the information. Why? Well, it was revealed. Hiruzen was telling the council that this was to keep Naruto loyal to him. What they would do was let Naruto develop a hero complex by having Hiruzen come and save him last minute, or his arm would come and save him last minute, letting Naruto associate safety with Hiruzen, therefore trusting everything and anything Hiruzen would say. You see, Hiruzen allowed them to break you. He used your suffering to manipulate you, to mold you into a weapon, a slave to the Hokage, to the future Hokage, Menma. But that's not all. Your future, Hatred said as he clicked his fingers, and then the future was shown. Naruto would be brought back from the blood prison to fight. It would be found out that he was the child of prophecy, and after he completed the prophecy, seeing away Kage Otsutsuki, getting the power from the Sage of Six Paths, Naruto was Rasenganed and Chidori'd in the back by Menma and Sasuke, who made a deal. Sasuke would become Menma's enforcer, as Minato had put a slave seal on Sasuke, making Sasuke Menma's slave, allowing Menma to become the undisputed ruler of the five great nations, as anybody allied to Naruto was turned into slaves. The females were sold to Menma, and the males, well, they were killed off. Naruto's hatred and rage manifested. Enough! Naruto growled, but hatred wasn't done yet. From the darkness, another figure appeared. It looked like Naruto. Meet your true self, Hatred whispered. This is the darkness that lies in you, the part of you that has always been waiting to emerge, the part of you that has been suppressed. You have been weak for so long, my counterpart, Dark Naruto said. It's time that you embraced me, became me, the power that has been kept from you, the power you have suppressed, Dark Naruto said, as Naruto's breath quickened. The truth was out, the lies had been exposed. The rage inside of him was boiling at this point. It was threatening to consume him. And now he stood face to face with the embodiment of hatred and also his own darkness. Let's see if you have the strength to survive what comes next, Dark Naruto said, as Naruto was in an endless void. You know what they did to you. Why do you keep resisting me? Your parents abandoned you to the wolves, choosing Menma over you. They left you, Naruto. Left you to rot, to be tortured by those villagers the moment you were born, just because they never considered you worthy of being the prophecy child, or just because you never was born with red hair. Naruto's fists clenched. His heart was pounding as he listened to every word. Each of them was true. The villagers, Dark Naruto continued, they didn't see a boy, they saw a beast, a demon that needed to be put down. As then he was shown flashbacks to fox hunted. They hunted you down like animals. Fox hunt, games where civilians and shinobi alike would chase you down, beat you to near death, while your beloved Gigi, the Hokage, allowed that to happen. Why? To play hero, to make you develop a hero complex, to mold you into a weapon, a mindless slave loyal to Konoha's Hokage, to become a Jinchuriki, giving you false dreams like you could be forgiven when you've seen the results. Were you forgiven? You saved them in the Konoha crush, Dark Naruto says. And that's not all, Dark Naruto added. In the future, they bring you back. You defeated Kaguya. You defeated Sasuke. You got in the power of Sage of Six Paths. You were the true child of prophecy. And they kill you just so that they could give credits to Menma. All the females you know sold. All of the ones that were on your side sold? All the males that you know killed or put to work in the mines for Konoha's benefit? Are you going to take this? Dark Naruto said. Face it, Naruto. You were never meant to be a hero. You were meant to be used, discarded, forgotten. But we don't have to be. We can become something else. Everything you fought for is nothing, Dark Naruto said. As Naruto looked at his dark cast, it was the truth. You see it now, don't you, boy? This is the true meaning of your existence, what they want you to be, what they think you as. You are nothing but a vessel for hatred. Now join me, become the embodiment of all the rage and pain that burns. Hatred itself said, as Naruto's eyes turned red. He grabbed his dark half, becoming one with it. You were right. I was used, abandoned, betrayed. Everyone I believed in. My parents, my village, my friends, they never cared about me. All they cared about was protecting that spoiled brat of a bud of mine, Menma. Only ever think of themselves. I was blind, Naruto said, as then he turned towards hatred. As hatred's eyes widened in shock. What are you doing? It asked. You might have become one with your darkness, but don't think you can oppose me, hatred said. Oppose you? No. I've suffered more than you can ever imagine. My hatred, my rage, it surpasses anything you are. Hatred roared in defiance, lunging at Naruto, its massive form enveloping him, but Naruto didn't flinch. Instead, hatred screamed as it was starting to become part of Naruto. You fed off the hatred of the universe. You're a compilation of all the hatred given form, but what you are is nothing compared to what I feel. I'm not just somebody you eat off. No, I will become you, a better version of you, Naruto said, as hatred shrieked as Naruto's body absorbed all of the hatred. Naruto then became something inhuman. Naruto's hatred was amplified by the Kyuubi's hatred, as Naruto has surpassed the very concept of hatred itself, becoming an abstract concept of hatred. Naruto's vision expanded. He can now see what is considered fiction to him but is real to many other people, beings in universes and realities. He could see realities, infinite layers of dimensions, each one filled with beings who thought that they were pinnacle of existence, but to Naruto they were nothing, fleeting. He saw realms that contained within themselves hierarchies of infinite dimensions, each one with layers that see the one below it as mere fiction. Yet even now, those infinite layers of existence, those hierarchies, those infinite amount of hierarchies, and the realms that contained them were beneath him. Each layer contained universes, multiverses, and had planets and life within them. But to him, they were nothing but batteries to absorb hatred from now. He had transcended it all. As Naruto's body, power, and voice now crackled the power. This world, this reality, all of it shall burn. With a single thought, the Naruto could influence beings, turning them nothing into hate slaves. Revenge, destruction, annihilation was all that he craved now. Naruto's face changed to a smile, but this wasn't just any smile. It was a smile full of unrelenting malice. Now this world, no, not just this world, all of existence would know who Naruto Uzumaki was, or should he say, who hatred is. Flashback end. Naruto's eyes opened. Now that all of the pieces in the chessboard had been set, he would show them their mistakes. He would use hatred against them. He would show this world no mercy. He was now finally free from everything, and now he desired nothing but revenge. Namakazes, with your return, the hellhole you call a home has all of his pieces set now. Now the chess game will be fair. It's time for me to make my move, Naruto thought as he looked towards the man who was leading to him. He had red eyes like Naruto's, but just like all of these other men that were the former prisoners and guards of this prison, but now they were nothing but slaves. You see, Naruto possessed the power to turn those who feel hatred into hate slaves, increasing their powers to beyond that of the Sage of Six Paths and Ten Tails, or any other being in this tiny existence. Even the strongest beings of the Uzumaki clan could never ever achieve power equivalent to his hate slaves. Prepare yourselves, my little pets. It's time for the final battle, Naruto says, as his hate slaves prepared. It's now time to make my move, Naruto says, as without another word, Naruto opened his mouth and unleashed a primal, ear-shattering roar. The force of the roar tore through the air, shaking the heavens and earth as the sound alone reverberated everywhere. Bodies disintegrated, turned to ash as the walls of the prison were destroyed. The castle turned into nothing. The roar rippled outwards, going towards the elemental nation, the land of fire, the first to feel the brunt of Naruto's new hatred. In the heart of Konoha, the earth trembled and the sky turned black as clouds gathered everywhere. Unusual amount of rains poured as within seconds floods came. This was like a Naruto saying that the will of fire had gone out, the water had put it out. Villagers were screaming as Minato quickly made some hand signs as everybody in the village was teleported to a different dimension. Next was the land of water. The mist-covered country was now covered in thunderstorms as people were zapped dead. The next was the land of lightning. The skies, once filled with swirling clouds, were now dominated by an unnatural vortex. Tornadoes ripped through the lands, tearing through everything in parts. In its path, people were crying. They were begging the world to stop. They were praying to the gods as many people died. And then we go to the land of earth, as the unshakable mountains were attacked by massive earthquakes, shattering and killing many civilians, shinobi and ninjas alike. And finally, the next scene was the land of the wind. In the deserts of Suna, where sandstorms were the greatest threat, now even greater catastrophe made an appearance. The air itself seemed to catch fire as firestorms raged. Lava came out, burning and destroying everything in its path. The devastation didn't stop there, as entire worlds, no, not just worlds, dimensional hierarchies, no, even greater than that, were being shook apart, destroyed, as Naruto was using his power to make sure that the Namakazes and Konoha had some place to come back to, yes, so that he could end them off himself. Naruto hovered above the ruins of the elemental nations, as nobody could stop him. Meanwhile, back in Konoha, a dimensional portal opened up as Minato, Kushina, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Menma stood along with the civilians, the shinobi, and the ninjas. Minato had saved them. When he took back the Hokage position, he had basically put flying Raijin seal so that he could teleport to any shinobi and get them out of a pinch. It's all gone now. The other villages, the village itself, everything has fallen, Tsunade said, her voice scared. Naruto, it must have been him, Minato said. Yes, he's the monster that the prophecy warned us about, Jiraiya said, shaking his head. And the one who will stop him is the child of prophecy, Menma. Naruto is the threat and Menma is the hero. Yes, Menma said, smirking. I'll stop him, I'll kill Naruto, I'll become the hero of this world, and then I'll take Ino, Sakura, Hinata, Tenten, and all the other women as my own personal slaves, Menma said. Krishna placed a hand on Menma, smiling. Yes, you're the chosen one, Menma. You'll beat your disgraceful of an evil brother, Naruto, and then you would restore the Uzumaki clan just like you were meant to be, Krishna said. Tsunade nodded with a sinister gleam in his eyes. Naruto has embraced the darkness. We'll use that to lure him out, and then once Menma defeats him, Konoha will rise again. All the other nations have fallen, but unlike them, we are Konoha. We are the first nation. We are the heroes. We are the main characters of this world, and we will win, Tsunade said arrogantly. It's a good thing you have the flying Raijin mark and put it on all the civilian ninjas and clan shinobi, and then sent them to that other time space that you found out. Otherwise, the demon brat's roar would have killed all of them, just like our rivals. This was genius, Minato. Now call the others. We must inform them of what's going to happen, the war that will come, Jiraiya said. Yes, Minato, Menma will need help to defeat the threat and make Konoha great again, Tsunade said, in her best Tobirama impression. Minato then proceeded to inform everybody as the skies turned blood red and huge energy came. He's here, Tsunade growled, her fist clenched tightly. The bastard has the gall to show himself. After what he's done, we were meant to go to him and kill him. He thinks he's the main character, Tsunade said. I'll take care of him, Menma said, his voice steady. Go, my son. It's time for you to kill your evil brother and fulfill the prophecy, Krishna said. I will, Menma said, as he headed out to confront his brother. This is the end, Minato said. With Menma, we will achieve victory. Minato said as he turned towards the Jonin commander and the Anbu Black Ops commander. Prepare your armies to support Menma. We will defeat him and show the village of Konoha and the Namakazes once and for all. Minato said, Yes, Lord Hokage, everyone yelled. As a few minutes later, Menma and the Konoha shinobi rushed towards the forest. His feet barely touched the ground. He was faster than any of the other shinobi. His speed was only second to his father. Hey Fox, you gonna help? Menma said. Never, brat, the fox said. Damn it, if I die, you die as well. Well then, we will see. Your brother has a part of me that has accepted him, and I'll be rather be reunited with my dark half than staying some delusional, spoiled brat fool, Kurama said. Then I'll kill him with my own, and I'll sleeve your dark half as well, Menma said, darkly, as he leapt deeper into the forest. Naruto's point of view. Naruto put up his hand and did a wave motion as Menma, as well as all of the other shinobi that arrived in front of him, were sent flying into the wall. Only Naruto's former classmates and senseis, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Minato, and Menma as well, were able to catch themselves. So, the ones who have ruined my life, my so-called friends, the disgrace of a sensei, my deadbeat trash of parents, and Jiraiya and Tsunade, you dickheads who blamed me for my own parents' death, as well as my own brother, dare to face me, Naruto said, his eyes glowing with each word, as all of them fell to the floor from Naruto's mere killing tent. No, not this killing tent, the hatred that Naruto was releasing. What is this? This can't be, Tsunade said, as Naruto looked and smiled. Is this the power of a Hokage, dropping to her knees from just mere releasing of my power? Naruto mocked. Shut up, Menma yelled, as he rushed towards Naruto, defying his hatred, and as he tried to Rasengan Naruto, only to be blocked by Naruto's hand just slapping it away, and then kicked back. I hate you the most. You took what I deserved. It's your fault Ryu-chan's dead. Now I'll kill you, Naruto said, as he appeared in front of Menma, punching him. If it wasn't for you being born, I'll be your only child, and then I would have the happiness I deserve. But no, you had to be born. You had to take my life, Naruto said, as he punched Menma, shattering his rib, as he grabbed Menma by the head and looked at Krishna and Minato. So this was the trash you abandoned me for, Naruto said. Please don't hurt my baby, Krishna said. Naruto, we could talk about this. I know you're angry, but it was needed for the prophecy, Minato said, as Naruto started laughing. Naruto, you don't understand. It was for the prophecy, please. For peace, like Jiraiya sensei taught you, Minato said. Prophecy. So, the reason I was tortured was because of some fat old toad saying some nonsense that he shouldn't have, Naruto said. It had to be done for the betterment of the village, Minato said. Shut the fuck up, Naruto yelled, as he thought about it. I know exactly how to break you, Naruto said, as he created a ball of energy, not of chakra, but pure energy, manifesting from his hatred, as he fired at Menma, destroying his body. No, Krishna yelled. No, Jiraiya yelled, as well as Tsunade. You've gone too far. You killed my only son, Minato yelled. No, I've not gone far enough, Naruto said, as then giant balls of red hate energy appeared all around Konoha's refuge, G-Point, as then Naruto appeared with the rest of the people that were in front of him, the shinobis, Minato, Krishna, Jiraiya, the rookies, as well as Menma's dead body. It's the demon, exclaimed yells. He's back. What do we do? Get the kids away. We need to run. Help me. He's gonna kill us all, was what the civilians yelled as they ran like headless chickens in circle. So, Minato turned to face Naruto. What do you plan to do? Minato asked. Simple. The villagers wanted to finish what you started and try to kill the Kyuubi. Well then, I'll give them Kurama. No, 1,000,000 Kuramas, Naruto says, as with a wave of his hand, several red energy balls formed that took the forms of Kurama. As then Naruto smiled. These were basically bodies that were controlled by Kurama's consciousness. People of the shitty village of the leaf, I have returned for my revenge. Let's play a game. You must remember the fox hunt, where you insane, vile, disgusting creatures hunted a kid down just to take out your anger, claiming to finish what this trash, my deadbeat of a father, started. Well then, here is Kurama, and here is the rules of the game. Run, never stop running, cause when you do, Kurama, who is controlling his body that I've created for him in the outside world, will kill you, Naruto said, as the Kurama's body's eyes grew. Yes, Kit, Thank you for these bodies. Now I'll use them to slaughter and take my anger out on the villagers, Kurama said as he fired 2 small warnings at the villagers with his claws just slashing them. Ah! Some of the villagers screamed, dying. Go on, kill them, Naruto ordered. No, a female villager yelled as she started running, grabbing her kids as the villagers started running, as Kurama started chasing them down. As then Naruto smiled as he heard people say, ah, please help us. Naruto, stop this. As Naruto took a seat back and relaxed. This was entertainment, pure entertainment. He could see why the civilian council allowed that in his prison. Well, now it's time for them to face what he did. But guys, that's all for today. Peace.